Hello everyone, 'tis I, the one and only Wolf. Transformers, my beloved childhood robots. The story of a brutal civil war fought between two alien robotic factions on the distant planet of Cybertron that ended up destroying their own world, forcing them to flee, which ultimately brought their conflict to our own planet, where they still continue to battle to this day, till the last bot has fallen. A perfect franchise for children, edgy teenagers, and adult virgins, like myself. Ever since its toy debut in 1984 and the popularity of the TV show, it went on to become a pop culture icon. It was a fun franchise my brother and I loved watching when we were kids, such as the Transformers animated show, Prime, and especially the Michael Bay movies. And yeah, they weren't artistic masterpieces that defined cinema, but child me did not care, because giant fucking robots killing each other! Explosions! Michael Bay! But regardless of that, the one Transformers film I wanted to talk about is its most recent, and dare I say, its most tragic. Transformers 1. I tell you, when I saw the trailer showing that this film would be set on Cybertron, I was like, fuck yes! It was about time too, and after seeing it, I can proudly say that it's damn good, and it's everything I could want in a Transformers movie, besides Megan Fox. Then it bombed at the box office because the marketing was shit, and I was like, no! I will not be denied! And then Paramount said they were not planning any further sequels, which basically translates to, we're not making another movie for a long time. But anyway, we're not talking about that. I did want to talk about this film for a long time, and there's so much what this film does right. And of course, there's a few things that did it wrong. But one of the strongest things in this film is, of course, Orion Pax and D16's relationship, and their eventual fallout that would result in the rise of Optimus and Megatron. Spoilers, by the way. So, the two main characters introduced at the start of the movie is Orion Pax and D16, who are both cogless miners living in the city of Iacon. They mine energon all day, which is a resource that Transformers need to survive, since it no longer flows naturally due to the matrix of leadership being lost during the Quintesson War, along with the other 13 primes. And their seemingly noble and humble leader, Sentinel Prime, is currently searching the surface for it. Orion Pax is someone who isn't content with his life, and he believes he can do more than mining, hence why he gets up to reckless antics such as breaking into the archives to find any clue on the matrix so they won't have to mine anymore. Orion is someone who wants to be more than meets the eye. While his reckless behavior and trying to be more than a miner may come off as selfish, since at times he gets other people into trouble, we see this is not entirely the case, as he also wants the same thing for his best friend, D16. D16, on the other hand, is a bit more passive. He's content where he is, and he finds Orion's antics foolish, and he's worried that he'll get demoted. He accepts that he's only just a miner. When Darkwing punched him after defending Orion, he accepted it, saying he interfered with a superior. As for Orion trying to find any clue on the Matrix, he finds it pointless because he trusts that Sentinel Prime will find it, someone he admires and believes is a great leader, and is only second to his favorite Prime, Megatronus. Fast forward into the story, they find an old message from one of the original Primes, Alpha Trion, during the Quintesson War, and Orion believes following the signal could lead them to the Matrix. D16 is skeptical at first, but is convinced by Orion, thinking that he'll be praised by Sentinel for retrieving it. Alongside Elita 1 and B-127, they journey to the surface to find out where the signal came from. Here it's learned from Alpha Trion, who actually survived, that the 13 primes were betrayed by Sentinel, who killed them all and lost the Matrix, and has actually been giving the energon they've been mining to the Quintessons, all so he could live like a king. Learning this, they're all shocked and betrayed, especially D16. And this exchange of lines in the scene, I believe, sealed the fate of Orion and D16. Two bots who saw each other as brothers would eventually fall into hatred.
Every day, every single day of my life has been a lie.
My God, I knew it. Deep down, I always felt something was off.
He deceived everyone. Sentinel lied to my face.
It was all a sham. How could we have been so gullible? Oh, this is going to change everything.
You just had to do it, didn't you?
Me? What did I do?
You just had to go to the surface, had to enter the Iacon 5000. You just had to break protocol.
Who cares about protocol?
I do. I care. Because nothing bad happens when you stay on protocol.
Sentinel Prime's been forcing us to work in the mines until our gears strip. And all the while, he's been giving the Energon away to our greatest enemies.
And what do you think he's going to do to us when he finds out that we know?
I'm not thinking about what he's going to do. I'm thinking about what we're going to do.
Well, that's the whole thing. You're never thinking about anything else, just yourself. Fantastic. Another Orion Pack's master plan. I can't wait to hear this.
Wait, don't you want to stop him?
No, I want to kill him!
Orion never really had any faith in the system. So when he discovers Sentinel's betrayal, he isn't shocked, and he admittedly suspected it, whilst D16 on the other hand is devastated. He trusted Sentinel. He looked up to him, believing he was a good, humble and generous leader. What's interesting too is the words they use. Orion says, "How could we be so gullible?" Sentinel has been forcing us to work in the mines, not thinking about what he's going to do, what we're going to do. Orion isn't just thinking about himself, he's thinking about everyone else. And he obviously can't stand for this injustice, not just against himself, but for every bot he lied, and especially to the miners who were carrying out the dangerous task of mining Energon. D16, however, says, "Every day of my life has been a lie. He lied to my face." D16 is consumed by Sentinel's betrayal to himself, how his entire life has been a lie. D thought he was doing something important, providing the life-giving Energon to the people of Iacon, when all this time he's just been contributing to Sentinel's power, being nothing more than a gullible, obedient slave. When D16 gets angry with Orion, partly blaming him for shattering his whole world and what Sentinel will do to them, Orion says he's not thinking about that, but what we're going to do. The real line that sets these two apart is Orion saying, "Don't you want to stop him?" He's already planning to stop Sentinel for his unjust rule of Iacon. Stop him from enslaving the miners. Stop him from giving more Energon to the Quintessons. Stop him from getting away with his crimes. Orion's anger is directed at what Sentinel has done to Cybertron. Even though he may have been reckless and came off as selfish at times, Orion still cared for others, including D16 and the other miners, even at the cost of protocol. And even now, Orion is already planning to put a stop to Sentinel's regime. D16, however, said, "Kill him. Not stop him for what he did to Cybertron, but kill him for what he did to him, lying to his face, treating him like a slave, killing the Primes, including his hero, Megatronus." D16's anger is directed at what Sentinel did to him. One of the worst feelings ever is knowing that you've been used and lied to by someone you trusted. While killing Sentinel would bring an end to his regime, you could argue that Sentinel's regime would still remain in the hands of his loyalists. But D isn't thinking about that. He just wants Sentinel to die, to make him suffer for all the crimes he's committed against him. People say that villains are made, not born, and while that is partly true, but looking at these two who were dealt with the same cards and discovered that they were both being used and lied to, Orion wanted to stop Sentinel's regime and stop him from selling Cybertron to the Quintessons. D16, however, wanted to kill him for taking everything from him. Consumed by vengeance so much, his best friend couldn't stop him from becoming the monster he swore to destroy. It is my humble opinion that this exchange was the moment Orion would become the wise and altruistic Optimus Prime, and D16 would become the vengeful and tyrannical Megatron. God, this film was so good. And the fact that it did poorly at the box office is a failure on humanity and all of cinema. I know Paramount has basically abandoned all plans for a sequel, and how they're bringing back Michael Bay to direct a new Transformers film, which I'm not really looking forward to. What? The last two films were god-awful. Don't judge me. But there could still be hope for a sequel, or at least a continuation of this timeline. But regardless, I highly recommend this film, because it definitely deserves more praise. Anyway, that's enough of me now. See y'all.